Hey, my name's Alex Simmons, and I have a question for all of y'all. I've recently become involved in an organization called the First Tee, and I wanted to know how many of you would like to thank the people responsible for organizing your Little League sports team. For the majority of us, sports was what being a kid was all about. Sports taught us life values like honesty, confidence, and perseverance. Although I didn't know it at the time, the values that I learned through sports that I played when I was little is basically the foundation of who I am today. I think that it is our responsibility to give back to give back to the community like our coaches did to us, because they're our future. And like I said, I recently became involved in an organization called the First Tee. There's a program in Greensboro at Gillespie Golf Course. I don't know if y'all know where that's at, but that's just off Florida Street. And they meet every week, and UNCG's golf team has started volunteering to help them. And we've been doing this for a few years. I'm just a freshman this year, so it's my first year. My whole life I've always helped with golf clinics, but this is the nicest organization I've ever seen so far. We're each assigned one child to work with during each session. We help teach them aspects of the game of golf and life values as well. The First Tee is dedicated to teaching them 9 core values that they will not only use on the golf course but off the golf course as well. And this is their mission. This is just a picture of another kid from my team helping them out, so you kind of know what it's like. Basically, we just stand on the driving range for about half the time, and the rest of the time, we really, it's kind of like, I don't want to use this example, but it's almost like an Alcoholics Anonymous meeting. Like, we just stand around and talk about our problems and how the values that we're learning through this is going to help them. So it's really good. It's really nice. These are 3 of the core values that I was talking about. The first 3 are honesty, integrity, and sportsmanship. Now you may be asking yourselves, how does a simple sport such as golf teach kids values that have such a big impact as these? Well, golf is unique from other sports in that players regularly call penalties on themselves. So they're obviously displaying honesty whenever they do that, and they're having to learn at an early age. Golf is also a game of etiquette and composure. Players are responsible for their actions and how they treat others on a golf course. So kids are learning integrity. And sportsmanship's obvious. I mean, it's a sport, so every kid learns sportsmanship. But again, you can take that not only through sports, but you can take that through like the business world as well. I mean, whenever you lose a big sale or something, you don't need to be a jerk about it. So that's the way I look at it. The next 3 values are respect, confidence, and responsibility. I'd like to point out that these are very important in the business world. I'm still working on improving myself in these aspects as well, but golfers learn respect by simply standing still during a competitor's shot so that they don't mess them up. Confidence, of course, everyone needs that in life and in sports just to succeed, to keep moving forward. And responsibility, you learn that in golf because you're constantly having to keep up with your own score. You're having to keep up with the pace of play. I mean, there's just a lot of, you can't just go out there and have fun. I mean, that's part of it, but that's how you learn that. The next 3 values are responsibility, perseverance, courtesy, and judgment. Perseverance comes from just not giving up in golf. Courtesy comes from, like I said, just waiting your turn and being quiet while other players are hitting. Judgment is just using good judgment whenever you get shots. You don't want to try anything stupid. Next slide. And why do I recommend the First Tee? I've learned more than most of the kids have learned from me, honestly. It's a very diverse program, and there was one instance where I was working with a kid that had a different religious background than I did. And as I was teaching him, I had to put my hand on his head to show him what he was doing wrong, and his parents looked over at me and they were like really offended by it. And that's what I want to do when I grow up. I want to be a golf teacher, so I was kind of learning, whoa, I need to really be careful about the stuff I do around these kids because not everyone's like us. And so I'm learning just as much as they are. And you don't have to be a golfer to volunteer. Yeah, they're constantly looking for adults to cook for them, to chaperone for them. So it's, I mean, if you don't know a thing about golf, it's still a great organization to volunteer in. And it's not corrupt. Kids who can't afford to go, there are plenty of scholarship opportunities. So they're not really, I mean, they're making a profit off of it, of course, since it's nationwide, but it's not as bad as you would think. And that's my presentation.
Thank you.